Why in the am I staying here?
Hey, SEGways!
Well, since we got some daylight, we might as well check out the cemetery that's right next to the Clown Motel. I do like this cemetery though, I'll give it that. This has a real, I don't know, kind of like old western kind of cemetery feel to it. I feel like some cemeteries that look like this in Red Dead 2. So apparently, the original Ronald McDonald is buried here. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that. Ronald McDonald was actually based on a real person. He's buried in this cemetery. I believe his actual name was Ronaldo McDonaldo. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that Ronald McDonald was actually Brazilian. Right, I better just let everyone know that I am joking, because I know I'll get like 1,000 comments saying, "Oh, you fucking idiot, Seg. Ronald McDonald wasn't real." I don't know, I suppose I should ask out if anyone's here. It seems kind of fucking pointless, because of course it is. I don't know, is anyone here that wants to communicate with a knobhead staying at the Clown fucking Motel? Look, they haven't even finished this bit. I'm pretty sure that's how it all should look. Fuck me, what the fuck, I mean, come on.
So, before I show you the big room reveal, I need to share the funniest review I found for the Clown Motel. As you can probably imagine, there are lots of reviews for this place. For those who are into that creepy clown thing, they, unsurprisingly, like this dump. But for others who kind of value cleanliness in a high regard, they were not so happy about the Clown Motel. But while I was staying in the Mitzvah Hotel, I got chatting to the bar staff there, and the locals in Tonopah seemed to know a fair bit about the Clown Motel. In particular, one told me about this really funny review, and I was searching all over Google to try and find it, and thankfully, I did, so let's give it a read.
My wife and I arrived very late in the night, and as is customary for a late check-in apparently, they have left the key by the front door for us. Upon pulling up, I noticed several doors in the first floor, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a flash. So naturally, I turned to look. Literally, with the door open, as the camera equipment was in the doorway, I see a naked woman lying across the bed as they filmed. Now, to ensure that I'm seeing things correctly, I asked my wife to get out of the car and see what's going on.
This is like some funny foreplay.
Sure enough, a woman walks by the door and into the adjoining room, completely naked! And to complete the story, a very rough-looking dude, who I assume was the night manager because he entered the office area shortly after, was sitting on the steps across from where the action is, watching the whole thing take place, and smiling the whole time. This is ridiculous, and the place should be shut down.
I mean, steady on there, mate. Just because they might be filming a porno doesn't mean you gotta shut the whole place down, surely. You know, porn is legal in America.
If you want to be scared for your life by shady characters, then this is the place to stay.
Literally, that is the whole point of the Clown Motel, albeit for very different reasons than this guy's stating.
As we stood there in the parking lot, a couple of guys rode up on four-wheelers from behind the space and joined the man on the balcony. The whole place is a creep fest, very sinister and dangerous looking.
Again, mate, this is the kind of stuff the Clown Motel actually wants you to say.
Pay a little bit more to go up the road. To tell you just how creepy this place is, everywhere we went in town, the parking lots were full of construction trucks and workers. Not here, only 6 other cars in the parking lot when everything else in town is sold out. That should tell you all you need to know.
And scene.
So, as funny as this review is, I don't actually think this couple witnessed a porn set. The review was written back in 2016, and as weird as creepy, gross clown porn would be, yeah, I did actually Google it, and it is actually a thing. Sometimes I think humanity needs a hard reset. Anyway, I'm pretty sure what the couple witnessed would have actually been the film set for the 2016 short horror film Clown Motel. There have been a bunch of these dumb horror B movies filmed around the Clown Motel itself. It's actually become a movie franchise. But I can't help but find it really funny how outraged this couple got. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't put it past the Clown Motel to film porn in their rooms. If you look at the place, it does seem right up their alley, so to speak. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Well, I've got my key here for room 108, which is the Pennywise It themed room. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, I've not been in here yet, guys, so, like I say, I've just got the key. I've heard some very mixed reviews about what the state of this room is going to be and not. Like, apparently the whole Pennywise theme is the least scary thing. So, does that skull thing go off every time I come in here? Let me turn the lights on. Well, turning the lights on do make a blind bit of fucking difference. Yeah. Yep. Brilliant. Looks just like him. Who they? Sorry. Oh, that. Okay, this has got to turn off. Yeah, that's going to annoy me while sleeping.
Don't be afraid.
Okay.
I won't hurt you.
Oh, for the love of fucking God. Okay. Okay, that's a good one. Oh, shut up!
Don't be afraid.
I'm not!
I won't hurt you.
I know! Alright, you done? You finished? Anyway. Oh, fuck! Right, fuck off.
Don't be afraid.
Anyone's gonna be afraid it's you, mate.
Ooh, you're hard showing off.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so there you go. There's a better looking depiction of Pennywise. Another scary clown. Scary clown. I mean, it's not that bad. Let's see if there's any bed bugs. I mean, it's not that bad. I'm not saying it's amazing or nothing, but the way some of the reviews were going on about, it was like, this place was going to be called in cockroaches and spiders. Your typical Australian hotel.
We've now got to the point of the video where I attend the Clown Motel tour, and all I got to say to you, dear viewer, is brace yourself.
Negative is not my thing at all. I have my granny, she's my guardian angel, she keeps all of that at bay, so I just let her take control of that. Yes, I do. And how the Clown Motel even begun is because it is a memorial. The motel is a memorial to a dad that was a miner in 1907 at the Belmont mine. And the Belmont mine was a pretty large mine. It was deep. It caught fire at the 1,100 feet. And a lot of people died that day. And Mr. Clarence David Davis is the gentleman that started our collection without even knowing it. And my little pea brain's barely wrapped itself around the whole 1900s, you know. Now I've got to figure out how to accept the fact of 17 and 1800s. Yeah, I'm a little slow and a little bit late on a few things. It just has been one of the new things that's kind of creeped into my little head. And
The tour was supposed to be 45 minutes. It went on for an hour and a half. On my life, this is true. Whatever pain you are feeling watching this right now is nothing compared to what I had to endure.
I love the porcelain parts. The porcelain parts compared to the whole porcelain clown or babies or whatever. I can handle the parts. The whole things just creep me out. I have since I was a little girl. So I can be able to totally handle those a lot, very easily. Handle them very well. So
they call her the cat lady.
So the clown collection, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And they all have their own personality, that's for sure. That is for sure. And by the way, my name is Wanda.
Of course her name is Wanda.
I almost forgot to tell you that. I've been in Tonefall for 36 years. I've been talking to the spirits for 36 years.
People say she's crazy.
Okay, I'm being a bit mean to Wanda here, and I apologise.
Well, I must be punished then, mustn't I? You're a naughty boy!
But it was really difficult listening to Wanda, who made little to no sense throughout the tour. About 20% of this tour was the history of the Clown Motel itself, which I gotta admit, I'm kinda surprised that the whole history of this place couldn't be summed up on the back of a matchbox. Another 20% of the tour was dedicated to the history of those buried in the cemetery right next to the Clown Motel, and the remaining 20% was Wanda talking about herself, her family, and her, you guessed it, psychic abilities.
When I got here, I didn't know that I was sensitive at all. It took a workmate of mine to basically drop a whole brick house on my head for me to realize that there was something to it. But since I have, it's been a lot easier to be able to handle and deal with things a little bit. And so the weather's really pretty nice outside. I'm surprised because it's been really super windy and cold the last 4 nights. You guys ready to go on out to the cemetery?
Oh, okay.
The Historical Society, when they started fixing all of the headboards because of the metal placards had gotten erased after 100 years of the winds and sands blowing around here, it literally sandblasted them all clean. So they decided to designate like 8 different places that we're supposed to walk around and talk about. We make it about 4 because we go across and then come back because I get lost so easily in the dark. And the last group that I realized we had been walking around in circles for about a half hour, I decided I'm not going to be doing it that way anymore because I'm not kidding. I get lost very easily.
How does anyone get lost in a big open field when you got the Clown Motel right next to you, all lit up? I don't know.
Never did I ever think that I would find such a tailor-made job for me. So, there is Big Bill Murphy. He's right on down here. And Big Bill Murphy, he reminded me of that song, the country and western song, Big John. Because I kind of realized that with him being a large statured man, that meant he was a large child also. So needless to say, he got bullied and teased his whole life for being so much more bigger than the rest of the kids. And he was not anything like any of the rest of the children. And Big Bill, he made it to 27 years old. He gave his life up for the locals. him and Clarence David, they pulled 15 people out of the tunnels, and 9 of them survived. That's pretty good odds, especially with no concept of safety. That meant that they were very quick in acting and pulling people out, as far as I can be able to see. And when Big Bill passed away, well, when he died, he fell out of the cage as it was being hoisted up to the entrance. He was the last of the people that were in the tunnels, and he made sure everybody got up and out of there safe. And he knew that you had to be in the cage just the right way or you could fall out. And with him being a larger person, I didn't figure that it would been that easy for him to have fallen out, but he eventually fell out of it and fell 500 feet to his death. That would be just a pretty scary thing, I would think. He was burned, and so was Clarence David Davis, over most of their bodies. They were burnt so bad that their brain didn't even connect, that they were hurt. They just kept going. And so, with the locals and the miners, they were so appreciative of Mr. Big Bill that they did something special for him that only him and him alone would know all the way through eternity how much he was appreciated. They buried his best friend right here in this spot, right here. It was never with a headboard, and it was never put on any of the maps. And that happens to be the horse that I mentioned. The locals were so in awe about how connected and bonded a human was to a workhorse. But with Big Bill, he had been known many occasions to say how he didn't like people. Him and his best friend was all he needed. So it kind of leaves you knowing that they spend every moment of every day together. And that horse had all of Big Bill's secrets, I would imagine. So for the locals to have been doing something so wonderful and so nice for him, compared to all the other not so nice things that they were very well known of doing, it was kind of nice, I thought. And I felt that it's kind of something that I have to share with everybody that I have on my tours. I have been cursed at by a lot of people because they always do that. Why do you do that? I even got confused a few times. All of our theme rooms got named the themes because of our guests. The first year of Mr. Haim and his brother VJ taking over the place, they had their guests fill out a form, and they started comparing how everybody that had no idea of each other were having the same exact experiences in specific rooms. So that's when Mr. Haim decided to start naming the theme rooms. The 107, he started out living in that room. And then he went home to India for vacation, and COVID hit. Well, he got stranded for 6 months. That 6 months that he was gone, when he wasn't supposed to have been gone, was when the spirits decided to start showing themselves. And 107 and 108, they feed off of each other. They really do.
Wouldn't you believe it? I was staying in room 108, and the couple who were also taking this tour was in room 107. Ain't that just the darndest thing?
The people in 108 would be livid the next morning, and a few people would actually demand a refund.
I could think of 100 reasons why you'd ask to get a refund from this place before you'd ever arrive to Ghosts.
And management thought at first, oh boy, people will go to some extents to get a free room, right? Until it was one day when it was these 2 teachers. And Mr. VJ thought, wait a minute, these people are educated. They're not trying to scam me out of a room, you know.
I mean, how educated can you really be staying in this dump? And yes, before anyone points it out in the comments, I'm well aware that I'm one of the dum-dums staying in this place as well.
So he listened to what those ladies were saying, and the one was very adamant. She said she couldn't get no rest at all, that it was a very large man, because he was ripping that room apart all night long. She said things were being ripped off the walls and the flooring, furniture being moved.
Spoiler alert here, guys. Nothing happens while I stayed in the very same room Wanda is talking about here. I know, shocking, right? Also, can we take a moment to look at how crappy these bed sheets look? They had to have found these straight out of the Walmart Halloween discount aisle.
So, Mr. VJ kind of thought about it, and he grabbed a couple of construction guys with him and decided they were going to check it. Maybe somebody, broke in and nobody knew. And when they all had a weapon of some sort, they opened that door, and it was perfectly exactly the way Mr. Hain left it when he left. That one lady just lost it. She was like, "Oh, no way, I'm telling you, And so Mr. VJ gave Mr. Hain a call, and he says, "What is going on, do you think?" And Mr. Hain said, "It's the spirits letting us know what they want us to do and what they don't want us to do." And that sounds like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have theme rooms. And that's what started them.
That does not make sense.
And it's kind of interesting, especially with 107 and 108. It's got a portal.
Here we go again.
The night that we had the black lights, right? And it started 3 minutes after midnight. And when I was leaving, I spooked myself so stinking bad that I didn't even call my kids to come pick me up. I started walking, and I walked so stinking fast. I made it home before my son could even make it down here to come pick me up. And when that car wash turned on and started washing a car that was not there, I just did the, okay, let's just get on home. I tell you what, I probably touched the ground probably 6 times, and I was home because I creeped myself out. Yes, big time. Well, the woman that was in my ear screaming about wanting to find out her baby didn't help matters either. And I refused to turn around and look at her because I just kept thinking to myself, oh my gosh, she sounds like she's probably really scary looking. So I just looked at the ground and walked. And walked quickly. I walk fast anyway, but yeah. Megan's spider walk.
I'm not taking anything out of context here. None of this made sense at the time either. Wanda just kind of randomly jumps from one story to another without being able to articulate what is going on in her own head. Anyway, next up in our walking purgatory tour, Wanda takes us into the room that's themed around the Clown Motel B-movie franchise. And I'm guessing this room is probably often unoccupied, as I can't see too many people requesting to stay in this one. So, you won't believe what Wanda has installed for us for this room.
And I love the dowsing rods because you can't control them. They do their own thing. And you would like to say hello? That's a yes. You're gonna let your wife step forward for the first time in months for me? I'd like to say hi to her. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's no. Are we enjoying our wonderful guests tonight? They're really, really nice people, aren't they?
Asshole!
Anyway, I'm cutting the rest of the tour here. Wanda just kind of goes on about raising her kids, which obviously was not paranormal related in any way, shape or form, and then proceeds to tell us some insane story about her walking around the town of Tonopah, meeting a lady outside her house and then helping the lady bring her pot plants inside, only then to soon after find out that the lady had in fact died several years prior.
Betsy's been dead for 10 years.
I know I've made some jokes at Wanda's expense, because, it is pretty easy to do so, but she really was a nice, friendly lady. However, on the night, this still left me feeling mentally scarred shortly after the tour finished.
Oh my God. You guys
have no idea what I just went through. You have no idea. So after we finished all that stuff in the gift shop, we then went for a little stroll. During this time, to be fair, there were a couple of interesting, local historical stories. Wanda showed the graves of some of the town's more interesting local kind of historical figures, but then also took this as an opportunity to tell us all that she speaks directly to these ghosts and has a back and forth with them. They become friends, but this tour was supposed to be 45 minutes and it went on for an hour and a half. Did you hear me? I just said an hour and a half. Come on. All said and done, guys, I am absolutely exhausted. I was planning on using this tonight and actually asking the spirits some questions, but I am tired and I am done talking to the walls, especially when the walls look like this. Ta very much. Cheerio. No, I made it all the way here to the Clown Motel. I've really got to try and give it a go. Alright. Morning time now. And, what a beautiful view I've got. Let's try and reach out to the ghosts of the Clown Motel.
I am a fucking moron.
To the ghosts and spirits and ghost clowns. I don't know, guys. If there's any bloody ghosts here, why the fuck would you pick this place to stay at? Anyway, I have a little device here that I hate more than anything else on earth. So it seems fitting to try it out in this place. You can use this to communicate with me, apparently. Let's give it a go. No, I'm done. I'm over it. Sorry, guys. It really is. That's as much as I could take. Cheerio!